Welcome to Bison Information Network News. I'm Heather Viker.
And I'm Eric Bunnell. Fargo residents have fallen victim to another scam. This time it's online. Police received reports of an email being sent around that states you have received an e-citation, usually for a traffic violation.
The email appears to be from the Department of Motor Vehicles and even includes a supposed location of the offense. It also asks that you pay your citation online and to not send in checks. The Fargo Police Department Facebook page states that the Fargo PD, along with the City of Fargo, do not issue e-citations. And if you receive an email like this, to just ignore it.
Don't know what to do this weekend? You might consider downloading the Webland app. This app, created by 3 NDSU students, shows the location of specific events happening in the Fargo-Moorhead area. Austin Braham, McCoy Saluka, and Nathaniel Thornton all worked together to develop the software. The idea grew from hopes that more students would get involved in both campus events as well as local ones. You can search the app by event types such as food and drink, entertainment, or health and fitness. Users can also save interest and be notified when a related event occurs in the Fargo-Moorhead area.
Which is absolutely not the case. With 250,000 people, there's bound to be, a lot of events that happen, and there are. The problem is that, like these two said, there's just no effective way of knowing about it.
The Webland app is currently pending review by Apple. However, the app will not be available for Android phones. Once the app is approved, it will be free to download.
Hurricane season is not over yet. September 2017 has become the most active month on record for Atlantic hurricanes. Maria is hurricane number 7 and is currently hovering off the east coast near the Carolinas. Maria is now a Category 1 storm, which isn't expected to increase in strength due to area conditions. Maria isn't expected to make landfall again, but it will still bring up to 2 inches of rain, 40-mile-an-hour winds, and a high surf. Hurricane Lee will be the 8th straight hurricane for the 2017 season since 1893, which had 10 consecutive hurricanes. Hurricane Lee is currently Category 1 and is forecast to curve away from the U.S. towards the UK.
NDSU students have a new hangout and study spot this school year. National coffee chain Starbucks added another location to the end of Bison Block 1, joining Spicy Pie, Herd and Horns, and Jimmy John's. The site officially opened on August 21st for the start of the school year. Starbucks has 3 other locations in Fargo, all on the south side, with the closest being 42nd Street South. Further expansions are possible for the future, including downtown Fargo. Mobile ordering and pickup is not available at this time, but will be added in the future.
Coming up, find out what's in store for Comm Day.
And NDSU's Frisbee Golf Club is soaring to new heights after this week's 7-day forecast.
You are watching NDSU's The Bison Information Network Student Broadcasting Organization channel, BIN 484. You were watching BIN 484. Watch the weekly BIN newscast live every Thursday night at 7 p.m. right here on BIN 484. Make sure to check out Bison home softball games this season right here on BIN 484, your home for the Summit League Tournament. Also watch games on www.gobison.com, NDSU All Access. BIN 484, operated by the Bison Information Network in conjunction with the NDSU Department of Communication Broadcast Program.
remember the moment.
I'll never forget that moment.
That changed my life.
At that moment, it hit me. This is why I joined the Guard. We're soldiers, always ready to protect our country. But we've also got communities. Family, friends, neighbors who count on us. I couldn't believe it. I just saved a life. Somebody from my hometown.
See what it means to be a citizen soldier at NationalGuard.com.
NDSU's annual Comm Day is back again, with multiple events scheduled to promote the Department of Communication. Among the activities will be a series of discussion panels that allow students to interact with NDSU alumni that work in the communication field. Students can connect with clubs and organizations of the communication department, as well as learn about the graduate program. At the end of the day, a professional workshop focusing on business etiquette and networking will be held. Comm Day is scheduled for Monday, October 2nd from 9 a.m. to 4:15 p.m. in the Plains Room of the Memorial Union.
NDSU is home to over 200 student organizations and clubs. One of the many clubs is the Sky Bison, an ultimate frisbee club. The Sky Bison Ultimate Frisbee Club has 14 to 24 members, and membership is up this year. They travel around the Midwest to compete against other ultimate frisbee teams. This weekend they will be traveling to Lakeville, Minnesota for the Exit 69 tournament. The Sky Bison began competing about 5 years ago, and one of their goals this year includes winning their conference tournament.
For our freshmen coming in. During the tournament, we have 7 to 9 games, each play to 13, or the highest score at 90 wins.
After the Exit 69 tournament, the Sky Bison will head to Milwaukee for the No Wisconsequences tournament. For more information about joining the Sky Bison, contact Zach Foltz at zach.foltz@ndsu.edu.
NDSU homecoming is underway and many festivities are ahead. The homecoming show and coronation will be held Thursday at 7:30 p.m. in the Festival Concert Hall. Friday's events include the President's State of the University address, the volleyball game, and the homecoming parade at 5:30 p.m. in downtown Fargo, which features over 70 floats representing student groups, NDSU academic departments, local businesses, and communication organizations. Saturday starts off with a 5K run walk at 7:30 a.m. Tailgating and kickoff for the homecoming football game against Missouri State is set for 1 p.m.
This theme for homecoming week is There's No Place Like Fargo. This week, Bison Information Network reporter Dan Uckelberg took to the streets to see what is the herd's favorite part about NDSU.
All the different clubs that are offered, so Greek Life, Army ROTC, Intramural Sports, academic clubs, all that.
I would say my favorite part about NDSU is just how much of the culture and the tradition are here that makes it feel like family. We have a nice small atmosphere, and it makes it really feel like home all the time, no matter where you are.
I would just have to say just the pride and the atmosphere that's created around that pride.
I'd probably say the tailgating and the football games.
Probably all the people that I meet. I've made a lot more friends since coming to NDSU, and they're really great quality, and I'm glad I came here for that.
I'm a huge fan of the bus system that goes all the way around the city.
I'd say the campus because it's so close together and you can get to your class in like 10 minutes.
All the
Walkers, it's time to look up from your phone. A recent study has shown that fatal pedestrian accidents due to phone usage while walking has risen over 22%. But why is this such an issue? With distracted driving rates on the rise, less and less people are paying attention to their surroundings when walking or driving. A new distracted driving law will be put into effect. However, it does not cover walking and texting. Derek Wing from Pemco Insurance says that this issue is worth noting. Last year, nearly 6,000 pedestrians were killed in collisions, and Wing states that there is a dramatic increase in deaths, and it's everybody's responsibility to be safe. So put down the phone and pay attention. Stay tuned for updates on North Korea and NFL protests, as well as this week's Hollywood and Health Minute.
We'll be right back.
Founded in 1985, the Missouri Valley Football Conference has established a tradition of FCS football excellence. Competing at the highest level of NCAA Division I, student athletes at its 10 institutions demonstrate character, passion, and integrity as they grow as a student, an athlete, and a citizen. The Missouri Valley Football Conference, where leaders are shaped and champions are forged.
North Korea and the U.S. have been having a spiraling war of words. Pyongyang is ramping up its defenses on the East Coast. That's according to South Korean intelligence. U.S. bombers flew along that territory over the weekend, though they were over international waters. The U.S. president has been accused of fanning the flames. The North Korean foreign minister says Donald Trump declared war in a tweet. He also claims North Korea has the right to shoot down U.S. planes, even if they're not in Korean airspace. Is it all just a war of words or an actual escalation of the conflict?
This game of chicken as two nuclear-armed leaders threaten to destroy the other. The war of words between US President Donald Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un is beginning to shake even the most steady of nerves. Recently, Trump has rolled out a new nickname for the North Korean leader, Rocket Man. Kang Myung-do was a member of the elite in North Korea, and he worries that Mr. Trump crossed a line by getting personal with Kim Jong-un, sparking the first ever direct response from the North Korean leader, pledging Trump would pay dearly for threatening his country. Kim Jong-un is a godlike figure, says Kang, and if the godlike figure says such things to the US, it's not just going to stay at words, it needs to be put into action. That's what makes this situation serious. After a Trump tweet over the weekend that the North says it interprets as a US declaration of war, Foreign Minister Ri Yong-ho said Monday North Korea is now within its rights to shoot down US bombers, even if they aren't in their airspace. On Saturday, US B-1B bombers flew further north of the DMZ than any other time this century. A show of force that sparked a propaganda video on a North Korean website with crude edits to show the US bombers being destroyed. The video claimed to be posted by an officer of the KPA, the North Korean military. Some defectors have joined forces to show Mr. Trump they support his hardline stance on North Korea. At a recent protest, they pledged to join a war of liberation to eliminate Kim Jong-un. Their hatred for the leader of their home country is hard to miss. This defector activist tells me, South Korea tried to talk, then Pyongyang did another nuclear test, so we have no choice but to physically fight. But the vast majority in the region, if not the world, wants peace, security, de-escalation before words spill over into something else. So for now, the insults are flying, the threats are fresh, as the world waits for either Trump or Kim to blink. Paula Hancock's CNN Seoul.
Music superstars are stepping up to help those in need, and Tom Hanks is remaking an Oscar-nominated movie. David Daniel has details in the Hollywood Minute.
Jennifer Lopez is coming through for Puerto Rico. Sunday in New York, J-Lo said she plans to donate $1 million from her Las Vegas concerts to the island's hurricane relief efforts. J-Lo called herself a proud Puerto Rican. She was born in New York to Puerto Rican parents. Demi Lovato is working to help children in war-torn regions. This weekend, the singer was named a Global Citizen Ambassador to champion the mental health of young people scarred by violence in places like Iraq, where fighting has displaced more than 3 million people since 2014. Lovato, who's shared her own struggles with mental health and other issues, will help fund an arts-related program through Save the Children. Tom Hanks is looking to Sweden. He and wife Rita Wilson will produce, and Hanks will star in, a remake of the Swedish film A Man Called Ove, about an elderly grump convinced he has nothing to look forward to in life. The source material is solid. The original was nominated for 2 Oscars this year, and the novel on which it's based was on the New York Times bestseller list for 77 straight weeks. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Eating your veggies is a good start to a healthy lifestyle, but how you cook them can determine their true benefit. In today's Health Minute, Mary Maloney tells us how to get the most out of cooking your vegetables.
Preparing vegetables rather than eating them raw can maximize their health benefits. The process of cooking breaks down tough outer layers and cell structures on many vegetables, making it easier for your body to absorb the nutrients. So, what are some of the best ways to prepare veggies? Steam, don't boil. Steaming is a great way to prepare vegetables because it keeps cooking time, temperature, and amount of liquid to a minimum. Boiling vegetables causes water-soluble vitamins to leach into the water, effectively wasting them. When in doubt, microwave. Microwaving uses little to no water and heats veggies quickly from within, preserving nutrients like vitamin C. An exception to this rule is cauliflower. Microwaving cauliflower causes a high loss of nutrients, according to a 2009 study. Sauté, don't fry. During deep fat frying, fat penetrates the food and dehydrates the vegetables. Sautéing maximizes flavor. And another study shows that sautéing with olive oil increases absorption of phytonutrients like phenols and carotenes. Griddling, baking, and roasting. Contrary to grilling, griddling uses a pan with raised edges and is normally done on the stove or in the oven. Veggies griddled with a tiny bit of olive oil can develop intense flavor and be quite healthy. Baking and roasting are hit or miss health-wise and depend on the vegetable. For today's Health Minute, I'm Mary Maloney.
A show of unity among many NFL teams and players Sunday, amid criticism from President Trump, who slammed players opting to protest during the national anthem. David Daniel reports.
More and more NFL players are kneeling or locking arms during the national anthem in solidarity after President Trump launched a crusade this week against protesting players. At least 8 NFL owners have reacted to the president's comments by releasing statements in support of their players and Commissioner Roger Goodell. A former NFL coach and Trump supporter, Rex Ryan, said he was shocked at the president's remarks. On Sunday, Trump responded again via Twitter, calling for a boycott if the NFL doesn't crack down on anthem protests. The National Football League players have gained support from other professional teams and athletes. Oakland Athletics catcher Bruce Maxwell also offered support. He's believed to be the first Major League Baseball player to kneel during the national anthem. I'm David Daniel reporting.
On that note, Eric, what do you have for sports for us today?
We have Bison Football, preview the homecoming game, hear from head coach Chris Kleiman. Former Bison standout signs an NBA training camp contract, volleyball, and soccer.
All right, we'll have that after the break.
North Dakota State looked to continue its successful rushing attack this past weekend against Robert Morris. The Bison came in averaging 436 yards on the ground. Pick up the action right away in the first quarter as we see Lance Dunn. Looks like he's going to go up the middle, but no, he bounces out the outside, and he just turns on the afterburners. Nobody's going to catch him. He takes it 61 yards to the house for an early 7-0 lead in the first quarter. On the next drive for Robert Morris, freshman defensive end Logan McCormick strips the ball, and then he eventually recovers it, and the Bison would take over on the Robert Morris 5-yard line. Here on this play, you see Lance Dunn yet again, his second carry and second touchdown. He has 66 yards on 2 carries. And on the ensuing Robert Morris possession, the quarterback rolls out. Trey Dempsey just steps right in front of that pass, and he takes it to the house. 23 yards for the Bison would go up 21-0 at this point, and it wasn't even the end of the first quarter. In the third quarter, Cole Davis takes it 17 yards to the house, a little option keeper. And the Bison, that would end the scoring. The Bison would go on to win this game 56-0. Lance Dunn had 3 carries, 111 yards, 4 touchdowns. One of those was receiving. Easton Stick was 11 of 15, 132 yards, 2 touchdowns. The North Dakota State had 260 yards rushing, and Bison defense held Robert Morris to just 57 total offensive yards. It's homecoming week and also Missouri Valley Conference home opener for North Dakota State. They will be hosting the Missouri State Bears, who are 1-3. The Bison have the highest rushing attack with an average of 377 yards per game. They also have the highest scoring offense with an average of 56 points per game. The Bison defense, which only allows 28 yards per game, will look to shut down a potent option rushing attack and an aerial assault from Missouri State. Missouri State rushes for an average of over 135 yards on the ground and throws for over 200 yards per game. The Bison will also be without backup quarterback Cole Davis, who suffered an AC injury and is expected out for at least a month. Against the Bears,
if you're running the option, you gotta have a quarterback player, dive player, pitch player. If you have somebody that kind of loses his eyes, which you're going to tend to have happen, and you don't have the extra catch player behind it, you're going to give up a big play. And
the North Dakota State men's and women's basketball team will host the Bison Hoops tip-off on October 19th. This event is free and open to the public. It will begin at 6 o'clock and run until 8:30 p.m. at the Sanford Health Athletic Complex. There will be various student promotions that will begin at 7:10 p.m. Both the men and women's team will be introduced at 7 o'clock, followed up by a 3-point shooting contest beginning at 7:20. The men's team will then compete in a slam dunk contest, followed by the women, who will be competing in a skills competition. The event will conclude from 8 to 8:30 with both teams signing autographs. The men's basketball team will open their 2017-2018 season on November 1st against Concordia Moorhead. The women's basketball team will host Minnesota Morris on November 2nd to tip off their season. After earning 2 Summer League invitations with the Phoenix Suns in 2014 and Orlando Magic in 2015, former North Dakota State men's basketball standout Taylor Braun has earned his first NBA training contract. Braun will be fighting for a roster spot with the Utah Jazz. This contract does not mean that he will be a part of the 15-man roster. The former 2013-2014 Summit League Player of the Year, who helped the Herd get an NCAA tournament win over the 5th-seeded Oklahoma Sooners, has played the past 2 seasons overseas. He finished his career with 1,651 points, which is good for 8th in NDSU history. Braun will wear number 24 for the Utah Jazz. After earning their first victory over Utah Valley, the North Dakota State women's soccer team looked to get one more win before heading into conference play. Brooklyn Dew gave the Herd a 1-0 lead in the 31st minute. Dew curled a shot from 20 yards out and scored her first collegiate goal. The Herd would take a 1-0 lead into halftime. In the 62nd minute, Danielle Alguera also scored her first goal of the season, with Holly Enderle getting the assist. They would go on to win 2-0 over Jamestown. The Bison will now open Summit League play this Thursday against South Dakota at 7 p.m. at Dakota Field. After defeating South Dakota on Friday, the Bison volleyball team looked to become 2-0 in the state of South Dakota over the weekend. In the first set, the Bison used an 8-0 run to establish a tone early. South Dakota State kept things interesting in the first set by pulling within 2 points late in both the second and third set. However, in both the sets, the Herd were able to claim victory and would sweep the Jackrabbits and become 2-0 in the state of South Dakota. The Herd has now won 7 straight overall and will host preseason favorite Denver on Friday at 7 p.m. and Oral Roberts on Sunday at 1 p.m. Heather, what do you think of Justin Timberlake clean close to inking a contract to be the Super Bowl 52 headliner?
I think it would be a great Super Bowl halftime show. I think everybody would enjoy the show, and I think it might even bring some more people to Minnesota's complex this year.
And it's, like you said, it's in Minneapolis, and could the Vikings have a shot? But, you know, they got to go through that bad man, Aaron Rodgers. But we'll see.
Always rooting for the home team, Minnesota.
Go, Pack, go. We'll be right back.
The TLMC offers a variety of services for NDSU students and instructors. Class project support is one of the key ways in which the TLMC serves faculty. Technology-intensive projects can provide students with an opportunity for creative expression, enhanced communication, and the development of digital media literacy skills that will benefit them in class, college, and beyond. We realize that there are obstacles and challenges to assigning technology-rich projects, and the TLMC is here to help by serving as a bridge between instructors, students, and the technology. We can help with project planning, identifying student learning and support needs, and developing, coordinating, and delivering project-specific support. Our services include hands-on workshops for your students, scheduled during or outside of class time. Individual and group assistance is always available for students on a walk-in basis at the TLMC lab. With access to a variety of multimedia software and hardware, students can store and work on their audio-video projects over time. Workstations may be reserved or used on a walk-in basis. Other learning resources include project-specific learning links on the TLMC website, our Learning Resource Library, and a lynda.com learning kiosk. The TLMC Media Studio features space and equipment for video recording, studio photography, audio recording, and screen capture. Students, faculty, and staff can make appointments to use the studio and to get help in producing, editing, and publishing their media works. Additional studio resources are also available at Berry Hall. Please contact us if you would like to take a tour of our facilities or visit with us about a project that you have in mind.
Freshman year of college, a long-awaited transition, is more important than some might think. With millions of students going off to college for the first time this fall, many incoming students will be deciding their future. Most don't realize how different their high school classes will be from their college ones. This is a result of poor time management, poor study skills, and not understanding what their professors expect from them. Because of this, students who cannot manage this will never make it to graduation. According to the National Student Engagement, almost 1/3 of freshmen seriously consider dropping out after their first year. Thank you for watching this edition of the Bison Information Network News.
Be sure to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and our new website, ndsubin.com.
Have a great night.